Auburn at LSU. Is this a night game? Do you know?
It is.
Okay.
Night
Well,
game in Baton Rouge.
Okay. Well, that does change things a bit. But, I mean, the LSU is such an enigma. I wouldn't bet this damn line with y'all's money. Okay? I don't know what to think about LSU. I'll tell you this: if I'm picking this one, I'm taking Auburn plus 11, just based on the fact that number's in 11. I think Auburn can probably lose by 10, and there's a pretty good chance of that. And I just Auburn's not a great team. We're going to pull up the numbers, but they'll surprise you on defense a little bit. They're a little more stout on defense than what you think. Definitely better defense than Ole Miss. So I would compare them with Missouri's defense. So I expect this one to be in the 40s. I'll look at the over/under. Maybe I'll be entertained by that, but I just wouldn't bet this one. Let's pull up the numbers and give me your take on this. What are you thinking?
Well, I think you're exactly right in that, I'm also taking Auburn in the points today at least. I think 11's a lot. I like them at 10. I feel like, you'd even get a push at 9.5. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be betting that one, but
Yeah.
But you mentioned it. Auburn's had a really solid defense. They're only allowing 18.2 points per game. And have done some things really well. I don't think that many teams have gotten more out of less with their defense than Auburn in the SEC at least. They're coming off of a bye, so Auburn's had all week to prepare for LSU, and we saw what Auburn did against Georgia offensively. And they saw a hole schematically in Georgia, and they executed. And what they did was they rushed Peyton Thorne. He had I think more than half of their rushing yards came from Peyton Thorne. And I just think with an extra week to prepare for LSU and this LSU defense that is awful. I mean, they might be worse than Vanderbilt.
Which hole are they going to shoot for on this defense?
Take your pick. I mean, it's really a good opportunity for Auburn on offense to put up some stats. So I think that, and look, LSU's offense is outstanding. They're one of the best in the SEC. So
very, very good.
I'm not sitting here telling you that they can't outscore Auburn by 30, because they absolutely have the potential to. And I did like what I saw out of LSU's defense in the second half of that game against Missouri. Only gave up 2 touchdowns in the second half. And they seemed to kind of settle down, against a fairly strong Missouri offense, which we'll get into later. But, I still like Auburn and Hugh Freeze. And Hugh Freeze really he's still searching for that signature win. So I think that he's got this one circled. And it certainly would be an outstanding win for him against LSU in Baton Rouge at night. Spoiling their season, and it could happen. I mean, I don't know that. I would think that LSU gets up for this game, a home game at night, and with everything still to play for, they haven't faced Alabama yet, so technically they could still win the SEC. So they should be motivated to play, but you really never know. So I'm kind of with you. I like Auburn in the points. I think LSU does win the game. They're just a little bit too explosive on offense. But I think that this is a good test for Auburn and Hugh Freeze. I think that they have a strong outing and something that they can build on, for the future.
Yeah. Well, look, and if you're going to pick a game that would be like an upset, a pretty big upset, for something to be an upset, first of all, it's got to be more than a touchdown spread, in my opinion, because 3-point spread, that's not really an upset. I mean, either team could, one play changes the difference in 3 points. I think Auburn stands one of the best chances of upsetting the opponent this weekend. LSU hasn't been the same at home at night as they were 2019 and prior. And here, I guess, kind of here's the key to the game. I think for me, those rushing stats that LSU has got there, a lot of that has got to do with Jayden Daniels and his ability to escape the pocket, take off. The only team that I've seen Auburn play this year that had a quarterback that could run decent was UMass, and it was Tyson Fumachan. Mm-hmm. And if anybody remembers Fumachan, he was from Clemson, and then he went somewhere else. I can't remember where it was. Maybe Georgia Tech it was, and then ended up at UMass. And he had a pretty successful, considering it was UMass, and UMass is really bad, considering this defense and everything. He had some success on the ground, and I think he got sacked a couple times, which even tainted the numbers, but averaged like 5 yards a carry or something in that game on like 8 to 10 rushes. So whenever I was trying to look at this game, I was trying to figure out if Auburn was going to have the ability to be able to limit Daniels to less than 100 rushing yards. Really less than 75 would be, I guess, ideal. I don't know that they've got the ability to do that, but if they want to pull an upset, they're going to have, if they could keep Jayden Daniels at like 50 yards rushing, then I think they stand a really good chance because, man, he just accounts for so much of this LSU offense.
Well, and I don't know that Brian Kelly is going to run him much because, I mean, he's been taking some blows all season long, more than any other.
If we didn't get hit with copyright, I would play that hit from that Ole Miss game every single show.
Yeah,
I would. Did you that when he fumbled?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, dude, he got rocked. Yeah, I know it. He's been getting hit hard. He's slight built, man.
Yeah,
and these boys in the SEC are like refrigerators running at you, bro.
Well, he was pretty hurt in that Missouri game, and was able to come back out. I mean, he had to come out, and Nussmeier came in for a couple of plays and finished the drive out. I think it ended in a field goal, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know that the game plan for them is to have him running bunch anymore because they absolutely cannot afford to lose him. He is their offense, and their offense is their team, and therefore he is their team. That's just kind of how it works. That's philosophy 101 for you. If then, but going back to Auburn, I think that seeing what Georgia did against Kentucky had to give that team a little bit of a boost to say, guys, we were one score away from winning this game, or at least tying. Going into overtime, against the number one team in the country. And we know that they're the bona fide number one team in the country now. So why not us? Why can't we go and beat LSU? That's got to play into this game, I think, a little bit. Now, if LSU comes out and hangs 14 and it's 14-0 after the first quarter, I could see some people kind of getting a little unmotivated after that. But if they're able to hang around and it's a 3-point game at halftime and I kind of like Auburn to stick it out and play well. So more I think about it, the more I like it, honestly.
Yeah. I like him at +11. I feel pretty good about that. I like that number.